Welcome to the Petty Peaches, or for this episode, should I call you guys my sugar babies? And I could be your sugar mama just for a short while. I am a high-key shopping addict. I don't know what to do about it. I'm a shopaholic. I get a high when I shop. And one of the super enticing things that I always see, and I've seen it in many forms, but it's like more out there lately, is sugar babies. I really started seeing a lot of this when I was in high school and when I was in college, just seeing it all over my social media, and got so jealous. I'm like, oh my God, someone just gets like $5,000 just for like sitting with someone. Or because back then they weren't as outwardly saying exactly what you have to do to be a sugar baby. Before, they would be a lot more vague about things. Like, the sugar baby will be like, oh, well, he just wants me to hang out with him. Oh, he just loves my company. But they're not saying that they go all the way with the guy, or that they, are maybe in a really controlling relationship, or they have all these really weird restrictions on them, and that they're really depressed and they do have a lot of money. But a lot of those girls tend to not really plan ahead with their money. So they might, yes, be getting a lump sum of money sometimes, like 5K, 1K, 10K, whatever, or purses and stuff like that. But they're not saving any money because they're purely relying on this sugar daddy. A lot of women, actually, based on my research, have multiple sugar daddies. It's not super uncommon. Most of the time, the sugar daddies don't even know about each other. I saw a video a while ago, and I can't track it down now, but there was a woman that like had one of her sugar daddies dropping her off at the airport. Another one was hanging out with her when she landed for, I think, just like a day. And then she spent the rest of the time with a different sugar daddy. She had like literally 3 sugar daddies, and the one that hung out with her for the day was just dropping off a payment, like, to hang out with her. So yeah, she was like, yeah, I just need extra money for the trip. So, just spending money. So he just came to drop off a lump sum. I'm just like, what? So hearing this as a broke college kid, even more broke high schooler, and broke adult, always seemed so enticing, because again, the way that people would paint it is just like, oh, it's so easy. Like, you don't really have to do that much. You just have to be pretty, or you just have to, and then I'm like, shoot, like, I got my makeup skills on point. But we're going to go over the good, which is usually like everything you see on social media, surface value. And I'm a big TLC girly. Like, I'm a very big MTV girl. So I grew up on this. I mean, and if you're older and you're not as in tune with social media, think of Playboy. I mean, that stuff was being just like shoved down our throats when we were kids. Even when you were young adults. I mean, your great grandmother probably knows about it. It's like one of those most universal things that everyone just knows about. It's not uncommon for people's grandmothers to have been Playboy bunnies, and they weren't with this guy because he was a looker when he was 80, when he was 70. They weren't with him because he had a shining personality. These girls had to go through so many things, including like their body weight had to be a certain way. There was, a whole bunch of crazy stuff that was happening. And honestly, like, do more research if you haven't, but we're going to talk about the good at first, just to show you like what people are usually seeing in advertising. And then we are going to go to the ugly and the scary, and maybe some advice that other people are giving you. When I was doing my research, I did see a lot of feedback from the sugar daddies too. There was like one guy that he like actually there was like 3 or 4 that like show you how to become a sugar baby from the sugar daddy's POV. I'm not showing those guys. It felt like more instructional for their side, and that's really not the video that I'm looking for today. But let's get right into it, especially with the holidays. Like, everyone's thinking like, ooh, shoot, if I only had a little bit more money. Oh, if I only had a sugar daddy, sugar mommy. Yeah, well, let's see like what your life could potentially be like. Okay, I will let you guys watch the video.
Hi. Put up in an Uber, leaving in a motherfucking Benz. Yeah, I gotta find somebody to play with, cause I'm not the one nor the motherfucking two.
Day in the life of a sugar baby, Chicago edition. So here's me. I got ready for the day, got all cute. Then I sprayed some Chanel, of course. Then we met our parents downtown. This was our $300 lunch. It was amazing. Here's the dessert. And then my sugar mama wanted something from Gucci, so that's where we went. We were there for damn near 3 hours, but then she finally found something that she liked. After that, they took us shopping and got some clothes and makeup. And then I ended my day with some cupcakes because I needed something sweet. Okay, bye.
Now, I don't know about you, but I'm already jealous. Like, I know that when I was talking in the beginning, you guys kind of saw some stuff in the background. Most of that didn't have anything but music in the background, so you guys weren't missing anything by just having it in the background. But I just added a few more after that, so you guys can just, I don't know, feel my envy. So yeah, like that's the jealousy, right? And like that's all you see though. You see like a 10-second clip of someone's life and you're just like, I'm following you because I'm jealous and I want that lifestyle, right? Or the Kardashians. Like I've been watching the Kardashians since I was a little kid. My mom would just like watch it in the background and I'm just like, I want to be them, but then I hate photos and I hate being on camera. And I've always been like that, even though I was like a really little kid. And I love and value privacy so much. So I could never be a Kardashian. I could never be a Kardashian and just judgment and all of that just so much. But let's get into maybe like some of the not so good things, you know? Like, let's just take a look.
Alone, baby. You're my baby. You're my baby, and I love you so much.
I'm gonna just talk over this one because it's copyrighted music, but not him flexing about the financial abuse that he has over this woman. No, like crazy.
See, you keep standing up in here talking about your rent need to get paid and your car note need to get paid. Now, the only thing standing between that happening is that motherfucking bed in there. So if you know like I know, and you want to help your motherfucking self, you go in and get that goddamn bed. And I promise you, you're going to leave here with cash motherfucking money. Money, you might be getting ready to go through something, but when you leave here, money going to be one thing that ain't going to be no problem. You might have a sore ass and a sore mouth, but you don't have no money problem. That going to be gone. That going to be all be over. You understand me?
He's a good man, Savannah. A good man. He's just in a bad situation right now, and he's trying to get out of it.
I asked my old sugar daddy for $10, and he literally only sent me $10. He knows I needed more.
It's getting mad hot in the bag.
Bro,
I can't breathe.
you know I'm taking a story. Why did you have
get
to
it, but
talk?
the damn bag's hot.
I don't
The
care
damn
if it's
bag's
hot. You know I'm
hot.
taking a story,
Suffocating
bro.
Now, I don't know if this one's fake, but I thought it was just another funny thing to add because, like, I have heard of boyfriends being okay with their girls, you know, having a sugar daddy. So,
This sugar daddy told me that he was in his 40s and he was tall, dark, and handsome. So someone please explain to me why, back in the day when I was going to be a sugar baby, why when I got off the plane, it was a 68-year-old man with wrinkles. He's like, Taylor, it's me, Emilio. I don't know who Taylor is because it ain't me. Who? And I know the sugar babies who are pros are like, Taylor, what were you doing? Girl, I don't know. No one told me how to be a sugar baby. Pageant's sister was like, hey, sign up on this website. You'll meet rich guys. I was like, okay. And the guy was like, I'm going to fly you out. And I'm like, all right, that sounds like a great idea. I arrive at his house and there's dog shit all over the floor. He's like, yeah, the maid took some days off and I don't clean up the house. So she'll clean it up on Monday. I slept in the guest room and then one night I hear on my door, hey, I was wondering if you want to come sleep in my room. I said, hell no. Hey, sir, you owe me $500 for cap.
So I tried the seeking arrangement website one time. Actually, I tried it multiple times. But one of the times this guy messaged me and he's like, oh my gosh, you're my neighbor. And I was like, oh, what? So I just didn't respond, and I don't know who he was. So every time I would leave my house, I'm like, oh my gosh, is that him? Is that him? Is that him? But I never knew who he was. And then I have met a couple of more people on there. One of the guys that I met on there, we were not looking for the same thing, but he did give me money to pay off my credit card. So I was like, okay. And then the other one, we met in Newport Beach in like some like rich, like bougie restaurant. And he ordered like some rich people stuff. It had like a cracker and like cheese and I don't know what else. And I was like, what the hell is this? And like, I thought he was gay, but he wasn't. And I was like, ew. And we weren't looking for the same thing. So I was like, I gotta go, but you're really cool. And Bumble also blocked me, but I'm coming back, and I'm coming back with my mom's phone number.
So I just dropped my cousin off on a date with her sugar daddy. Y'all have to see her face. Look how they date going. Just get the bag and go, bitch.
Never ever be with a man that has ever used escorts, sugar babies, massage parlors, any of those things. Never do it to yourself, girls. I promise you'll regret it. Even if you are the escort that is going to marry this guy, trust me, this is a man that pays for validation. It's a man that will pay to feel desired. It's a man that's not willing to work on himself enough to get the women he desires. And more so than anything, it's a man that doesn't look for emotional and spiritual or intellectual connection with a woman. He just looks for what he sexually desires. I know you're going to say, oh, all men have that desires, all that. No, not all men. All losers have that desire. The desire to just have a woman that is just good for them sexually. The biggest red flag is men that pay for sex is they're usually porn addicts. They are absolutely addicted to pornography. And how you know that they're addicted to pornography?
I don't know who needs to hear this, but start saving your money, because the enemy is using that man to control you with money. And that's called financial abuse. So start saving your money so you can make your escape route. Because God wanted to set you free. Right now you're in bondage.
So this is gonna be a little story time of my sugar daddy. So like a few months after getting kicked out, I ended up working at this place where a lot of rich people had memberships at. So I was just a beer cart girl there, and there was this one guy that would like always come and talk to me, and like we kind of became close, and he eventually started like tipping me $100 every time he'd buy like a can of beer. And everyone I worked with thought he was so hot. Like, he was an old man, guys, but like they thought he was so attractive, and I honestly just never saw it. And they're like, Mina, it's literally just because you're young now, like you're just not into daddies now. So I'm like, okay, fair. So I actually worked as a host at a restaurant at the same time that I was working at this other place, and it was kind of a fancy restaurant. And I saw him walk in one day, and he walks in with this really attractive girl who is clearly not his wife. His wife, by the way, was like 20 years younger than him. And so I have this friend that works with me at that restaurant and also the other place that I work at, and I'm like, girl, what's going on with this guy? And she tells me, oh, he brings girls out for dinners and stuff like that, like he buys them things, yada yada, like his wife doesn't care, she clearly cheats on him too. And I'm like, okay, good to know. And then this one day I'm just doing my thing, doing my beer cart, whatever, and he comes up to me and he's like, you know, we should hang out sometime. And I'm like, oh,
I'm like, could this be my sugar daddy phase? He asked me for my number and I was like, nope. And I gave him my Facebook. I had Facebook at the time. And he messaged me from there and he's like, oh, what do you think we should do when we hang out? And I'm like, oh, maybe like go out for dinner or something. So the day rolls around when we're supposed to be going out for dinner and he picks me up from my work and we drive over to this pizza place. I was so freaking nervous. Like, I wanted to cry. Like, I was still young at the time and it was a very impulsive thing that I was doing. And because I have this whole idea of him, oh, he's so nice, he's like, you know, not creepy at all, like it's gonna be fine. But I was wrong. So first red flag, this pizza place is not a restaurant. It's like a takeout place. He's like, wait here, I'm just gonna go get the pizza. And he comes back in and he's like, oh yeah, we're just going back to my house. And I'm like, and guys, in the car, he is telling me how high of a sex drive he has. I'm literally not even joking. He's like, yeah, I have to jerk off multiple times a day. And I'm just like, and I tell him, guys, I'm like, oh, I have vaginismus. I actually can't do those things because I can't. And I'm just trying to be that chill girl that's like, you know what? I'm not misreading things. You know, this is totally normal. And he's saying these like disgusting things like, oh, you probably have to like stretch it out, you know? And I'm just like, literally on the verge of throwing up, but I'm in this man's car. So we finally come to his place and I'm like, oh, like, where's your wife? And he's like, oh, she's not here right now. His house is like literally massive, absolutely gorgeous. And guys, don't worry, I shared my location with my roommates. Like, I made sure they knew exactly where I was. And then he pulls out some weed. Go check part 2 out for the rest of the video. So part 2 of my sugar daddy experience going wrong. So he pulls out weed and he's like, oh, do you smoke? And I'm like, yeah, I do. Guys, I don't smoke. I was just so jittery and I was like, I need to relax and I just need to make it seem like I'm not terrified right now because what if he kills me? So I literally do like one puff. We leave the terrace and we start eating the pizza and it's just so awkward. And I don't know how, but from that one puff, I was so fried. So I thought I was gonna relax, but my anxiety just got even worse. And I was trying to slowly eat pizza and just eat a lot of pizza so that like time would just go by. And I'm like just trying to have casual conversation. And remember that girl that I was telling you about that worked at that one place, like both places that I also worked at? She was like a minor. And he was talking about how big her boobs were. Guys, I was literally like rummaging through my bag to find like my pepper spray because I had some. It was like bear spray. And so basically after eating a lot of pizza, he's like, what do you want to do now? And he's like, I have a really good stoner couch in the basement. And of course, I'm so stupid and I go downstairs with him. And there's like a huge TV there. There's a couch there. He sits down. I sit like 2 seats away from him and he gets kind of closer to me. And you know what I put on? I put Try Not to Laugh on YouTube. I put that on and I kid you not, we watched an hour of Try Not to Laughs. And internally, I'm crying. And he slowly like started bringing his hand close to my thigh and I was like, no. So I go to the washroom because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get my phone. I'm gonna go to the washroom and I'm gonna text my friend. I go to the washroom and I forget my phone. Guys, I'm telling you, I am so anxious right now. I'm literally scared for my life. So I'm like, okay, what's the game plan right now? I come out and I'm like, hey, I'm hungry again. Because it's been like an hour and a half of us freaking watching these Try Not to Laugh. So we go back up, I eat some more pizza, and like I just don't want to leave soon because I don't want to make it seem like I'm fucking terrified of this man. So he just continues to say creepy shit and then I'm like, oh, it's getting really late, I'm getting really tired. And he's like, oh, do you want to stay the night? And I'm just like, no. So I texted my roommate to come pick me up and she's on her way and then he's at the front door with me. And then she's like finally here and then he wants to give me a hug goodbye and I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I hug him and he just stays there like pressed against my chest and it just feels like he's like trying to like hug tight. And I'm like, okay, bye. And I run to my friend's car and I start bawling my eyes out. I don't know why I ever thought that was a good idea. I was clearly not attracted to this man. I knew if he wanted to do something that I wasn't gonna do it, so I don't know why. I don't know why I agreed to go to his house. Like, I thought we were gonna go out for dinner. I eventually quit that job because of how uncomfortable it was, but yeah, that's my failed sugar baby experience.
Y'all be on here telling people, go get you a sugar daddy. Go get you an older man who's more stable. Get you a man that's gonna take care of you. But what y'all fail to mention is that they're manipulative, controlling, not to mention just annoying as fuck. Older men are not better quality. They've been around long enough to know how to lie better. And they want so much from you. They want to suck away your youth.
Hey guys, this video is going to be a little different, but I feel like it really needs to be heard, so today I'm going to tell you guys a sugar baby horror story. This took place back in 2016 and has to do with one of the girls I became really close with while doing my research. I'm just going to call her Kat for the video. So I was in a group chat with Kat and a few other sugar babies, and we'd always keep tabs on each other. If one girl is out on a date, there's an emoji that you send if you're in trouble, and then someone will need to call you and check your location. And that's a good tip for anyone who's still gonna sugar after this video. Anyways, Kat was a vet. Like, she'd been sugaring for 4 years. She knew what she was doing. She told us she screened this guy. They apparently had Skyped multiple times. And finally, he buys her a ticket to get her out to Dubai so they can meet in person. We got a text that she landed in Dubai. And 20 minutes later, we got that emoji. We all called. We all checked her location. But her location went offline. And to this day, we don't know what happened to her. And Kat's the main reason I make these videos.
Coming from somebody who has been a stay-at-home girlfriend for 3 years, it's not the life you want. And when I say stay-at-home wife, mom, girlfriend, whatever, I mean you are relying solely on your partner's income. But I saw a quote a long time ago, and I wish I listened to it. If you give a man the power to feed you, he also has the power to starve you. But when I tell you there was no amount of gifts, trips, nothing truly made me happy. And honestly, I convinced all of you that I was living the life. I feel like that's what a lot of women do. They try to convince themselves and everybody else that they're enjoying their life of not having anything for themselves. I was showing you guys this nice apartment, my daily Target runs, you know. I was going crazy every single day. And there is a lawyer on TikTok, but she said the divorce rate with stay-at-home moms and wives is very high. It's kind of the same story every time on why they're filing for divorce. You know, the man says, you don't have to work, just stay with me. All you gotta do is take care of the family. To a lot of you guys, that would be music to your ears. If he is paying for your whole life and you don't have any income at all, there will start to be a resentment. I'm just glad I was young. I didn't have any kids. I was not married. I was able to start my life before I wasted more years just staying in the house. Being in a relationship where you know you will have nothing when you leave, or if this person ever leaves, that's not gonna feel good, you know? And also something else I didn't like about having my life completely funded, you kind of have to let them do whatever they want. You have to like go about things differently and tolerate a lot of BS because your life is on the line. And as delusional as I was, I knew that I never wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Once you add kids into the equation, you're probably never gonna leave. Because once you pop out that kid, that's when you really sign a death contract. Like, you can't go back now. Because if you leave, not only do you have to fend for yourself, you have to fend for an innocent life too. So you're definitely not leaving if you have no income. I ain't doing no wrestling. Getting back into the workforce is not easy. Go ahead and do your research. And I'm pretty sure you're thinking, oh, I could just get alimony. That's like a unicorn. Do you know how much money that man makes? Did you make him sign a prenup? Because you will get comfortable staying at home, not doing shit. And then before you know it, 10 years passes by, you got kids, your husband's cheating on you with a younger woman. Are you gonna stay, or are you gonna take your kids, get a divorce, get a job? Staying home and taking care of the kids and the house, I think that's outdated. We're in a different time now. I do believe a man should provide, but I do believe that you should have your own income too. I'm just gonna be real. I think all men cheat, especially if they have money. They have access to hundreds of women that look better than you. That might be controversial, but it's the truth. So I don't think that putting your whole life into a man's hands is a good idea right now. But I'm just being real, and I'm just trying to look out for the young women who are planning their whole lives around being a stay-at-home wife. And I hope that there are some stay-at-home wives, moms, girlfriends watching this. I hope you guys can put your pride aside and back me up in the comments and tell them I'm right. Anyways, I hope you guys listen to me, even though you probably won't. Love you.
Okay, so you guys kind of saw like the glamour, the downsides, which is also like, you know, like you gotta give him some sugar, or, you know, the girl's trying to hide like the sugar daddy's face. Some of it was funny, and then towards the end it got a lot more serious, not only from just someone kind of holding their finances above your head and celebrating when they cut you off to leave you in a very bad space, but also we saw people that were missing, in danger. I mean, it was seeming pretty common for people to have their male friends or their siblings or, you know, whatever, just in the car, hiding in the back to make sure that something bad doesn't happen, because everyone's acknowledging that it's dangerous. I mean, it can be very, very dangerous, or having them fly you out and they don't look anything like you thought they would, or them just, I don't even know, like the lady in the background of this one, which I thought her video, it was not exactly sugar daddy, but it's stay-at-home girlfriend, which is very similar. In her instance, it's like, you know, the guy pays for absolutely everything, but you have to stay home. And even that is just really, really hard to get out of that lifestyle. You kind of just get sucked into it. A lot of people don't save money. I've heard of a lot of cases where people don't even have their own bank accounts. It's just become that common. And when the relationship ends, which sadly a lot of times it does, the girl in this case is left just feeling very lost. Some of them end up almost like homeless, or just really bad cases. I've heard horror stories, and we've even seen there were a couple videos I came across of just like deaths that ended up happening because of this. I wasn't able to find all of the parts of them, so I figured it'd be better to leave it out than have you guys see an incomplete story. But some of the stories that I have stumbled across are just really, really, really sad. And yes, I am a shopaholic for sure, but a lot of this just seems one of those, like, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. And there's a lot of scams out there, so just decided to bring this out during the holiday season when you know, like my wallet's feeling really empty and light, and just reminding myself and you guys that grass is not always greener on the other side. There are a lot of people that have been doing this for a really long time. They treat it like a full-time job, and they're doing things that to be honest, I'm not willing, maybe you're not willing to do. So that is going to be it this time. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I have a lot more content I'm trying to pump out for you guys. Please leave your suggestions below. I am always happy to read them. And if you could just like, share, comment, all of that helps me grow so much. And hoping to hopefully eventually be able to monetize this channel and be able to have a lot more time to invest into you guys. Right now I'm doing a lot of things in my personal life, including working a full-time job, 2 full-time jobs. And so this is my third passion project. So thank you guys so much, but have a good rest of your holiday, and keep tuning in and watch my other videos if you're interested, because I have a lot of really good stuff already out there. Thank you so much. See you guys next time.